That's right. You see that gorgeous picture of Miss Penny right there if you're watching us on Facebook here this morning? Now let me show you the reality. Don't do that! I look gorgeous right now! Please don't do that! Okay, I won't. Poor Penny, she is just so tired she can't. Do I really have to get out here this morning? Well, yeah, you do. So I'll just... She's awake. Yes, she's awake. Yes, she is alive. Penny is alive. And she looks so gorgeous in that picture. And I was trying to brush her ears this morning and she's going, ow, 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 ow. Anyways, we are here this morning and hope you are going to be prepared for a really, really, really big day here today. Life keeps moving so fast here. It's really hard to imagine that it could move any faster. I vote for, is there a day called Slow Day? Where everything moves slow? I don't know, folks. Maybe. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. Let's see, where am I at? Oh, there I am. So if you are thinking about the good old days, about Cow Appreciation Day, how important cows are to us, how Chick-fil-A is important to us, and how it's 80 years of Chick-fil-A, I think is what I read, which is why they have Cow Appreciation Day. You remember what were they, the Ninja Turtles? Cowabunga, dude. Oh, Cowabunga, dude. Yeah, they were pretty funny. Anyways, it is Cow Appreciation Day. Dress like a cow or anything close to resembling a cow. I want to do a shout out to the Supremo cow custom gal that I know. And there may be newer ones here today because, time marches on. But at one time, Lou Walters, a resident of Greenwood, South Carolina, was the Supremo cow appreciation gal. She actually came to Sharp Facets one day dressed as a cow. I really should try to dig out that picture. I wouldn't even know where it was. But we took a picture of her. She was from her head to her toe. I think she had a hat on, like a cowboy hat. But her whole outfit was all cow. And that was fun. And people will be dressed up all day long. I'm sure if you go to either of the Chick-fil-A's, they are giving away free food today, free food. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I do believe. And you just got to go in and either dress in full regalia as a cow or parts thereof. The idea is to celebrate Chick-fil-A. So congratulations, Chick-fil-A. What an idea. Dress like a cow is today. And it was recommended that I not discuss. Well, okay, I won't discuss it. Well, maybe I'll come back to it later. Remind me, let's see, note to self, mention what other day it is. There you go, I got it down here. Yep, I got it. Okay, I'll try to mention that before the show. It would be unseemly to mention both of them in one discussion, so you'll have to stay tuned to see what the other one is. All right, I'm Ann Eller. This is WCRS Radio. Got a lot of topics to talk about, but first off, I want to go ahead and do the weather. The weather outside is soggy. And my grass needs to be cut because, when Penny, I will go off script here a little bit. When Penny was a very wee puppy, she would go outside. And, of course, she was so close to the ground. If there was any moisture or anything, she would get wet. So I used to keep a towel beside the door to wipe off her paws and wipe off her underside there where she'd gotten wet. Well, it's a tradition. And now it's 18 months later. Or 16 months later, whatever. And we went outside, we did a little potty and came back in, and I'm running up the hallway here saying, come on, we got to go do the show, let's go do the show. and she's standing by the door. And she looks at me as only Penny can look at me and go, "Wiper, my paws." So I stand there and run back and go, "Oh my God, I forgot to do the paws." So I run back there, wipe off the paws, wipe her off and everything. And then I come up here, and a little few minutes later, she comes slowly into the room. "I guess if you need me, I will come do the show." So that is how every day when there is a question, "Penny, did you do that?" "I did not, and I am humiliated that you said anything like that." I'm sorry, Penny. But it is kind of funny. We have this little tradition. If her paws are wet, she stops at the door, and I wipe off her paws. And that's just the way it is. Now, moving on, what is the weather out there? The weather will be whatever the weather will be. And today the weather be 73, and amazingly, it feels like 73. We are expecting a high today of 81 with considerable cloudiness and occasional rain showers. Chance of rain is 50%, 50%. So that's what we're looking for today. Tomorrow on Wednesday, be a high of 89, a low of 72, and only a 19% or 20% chance of rain. Cloudy early on Wednesday with partial sunshine expected late. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible, high near 89. Thursday, we're right back in the thick of it, high of 93, low of 73, partly sunny skies. Friday is about a ditto day, only about a 20% chance of rain either day. Saturday comes in, high of 92, low of 73. And what does it say? Partly cloudy early, scattered thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, hot. Chance of rain is 40%. And Sunday, looks like we are going to again have a high of 91, low of 73, and both days about a 40% chance of showers. So that's what we're looking at as far as the weather goes. Certainly a change from last week, and quite frankly, I think it's a good change. We could use a little cooler weather. All right, so it's Cow Appreciation Day. Got to get out and get to Chick-fil-A, dress like a cow. And like they say, you don't have to be like in full garb, but just wear something cow appropriate. And you will receive bounty. You will receive bounty from Chick-fil-A. It's not Talk Like a Pirate Day. It's Dress Like a Cow Day. Okay. All right. Well, we got several things to talk about. I do want to talk some about Lindsey Graham's life. I also want to talk about the fact that I went to see the Young Washington movie Saturday afternoon. That was nice. I have some observations, and you can like it or not, but you can certainly comment right there at 864-332-9355, 864-332-9355. We'll be talking, and you can text or call. You can also join me right here on this kind of cloudy, rainy day, right here on Facebook at WCRS. Well, a couple of news things that I wanted to get to real quick was over there in Ware Shoals, they have, excuse me, they had a meeting. Oh, there's the cows again. They had a meeting about the dam over there and what is going to happen to it. So this is going to be a big topic. So I hope that something good, at least tolerable, will come out of it. But the thing about it is they want to close down the dam. Well, you know, they're not making any money. Things have changed. We all understand that. But how will they leave the dam is, of course, the question. So they had this meeting last night, and of course, residents want it to be. I thought I had it here. Residents want it to be returned because there's water is not running over it. It's the damage to the property and this type of thing. So it has become oh my gosh, say that isn't so. That's why I don't like looking at Facebook when I'm doing the show. You know why? Because all of a sudden your mind is like going down a rabbit hole. So I'm not looking. I am not looking. But let us just say this. Any political candidate that has had any thought of ever becoming a senator or working on Capitol Hill is getting ready to put their name in the hat. It's going to be a most phenomenal time. All right, let's see if I can find the story we were supposed to be talking about this morning. They had a meeting, and of course, the folks over there are very upset about the fact that this dam and their property values. This is something that has been, I guess it's been over a year since this first started, and there is a process to decommission a dam. That is the thing about it. So, Representative John McCravey was at the meeting last night. And he said that, excuse me, well, why can I not find what I want here? Excuse me. Okay. He said there is a process. So after attending last night, this is from what's happening in Ware Shoals, on the dam project, I have a few thoughts. First and foremost, we have some amazing people who are passionate and show they care about this town. I saw county council try to defend their disrespect and lack of care of our town. I saw our state representative, John McCravey, stand up in favor of the town. I see a lawsuit that should be filed as town, a bunch of landowners, and by the people of Ware Shoals. We are losing revenue because the power company was lazy and didn't care about this money to prevent them from protecting citizens. Well, I'm not sure about any of that. But John McCravey was saying that they need to contact the... I wonder why I can't find this here. That they need to contact, maybe this will take me where I want to be. Yes, here it is. This is from Representative John McCravey. Tonight, Ware Shoals, that was last night, residents packed out a public hearing required by the federal government whenever a hydroelectric dam is closed. Rather than fix issues they were cited for by FERC, Patriot Hydro has drained the water behind the dam, causing massive erosion upriver and sediment deposits downriver. John McCravey called an ad hoc meeting over a year ago in Columbia with all the stakeholders present to bring awareness to this issue. At that meeting, Patriot Hydro revealed they now want to close out their operation and are required by the federal regulation to pitch options to the residents for comment. The room tonight, that was last night, was hot, and so were the citizens. Residents testified that the draining of the impoundments has resulted in loss of property values, recreation, tourism, local revenue, and the environment. They were clearly and adamantly in favor of restoring the dam to stop further erosion upstream and massive sediment deposit downstream. Representative McCravey said, "Good for them for speaking out. Mayor Brian Ross is to be commended for moderating the meeting and letting the citizens air their legitimate grievances. Although, as John McCravey says, this is from his post, I am a mere state official and the federal government has complete jurisdiction, I will be making a formal request on behalf of my constituents to FERC and our federal representatives to require Patriot Hydro to fully restore the Ware Shoals Dam that has been there for over 100 years before more irreversible damage is done. Residents should use the attached links to do the same. So he's calling for people to get out there and comment and let people know. So this is a process. When this started over a year ago, it had to go through all these hoops to get here. Well, it looks like it is now at the point of getting here, shall we say. And people's property, though, is at risk here. And it says, please provide arguments, let's see, to this public meeting. Email, and then there's some email addresses and access to the FERC. I've already posted that on our Facebook page. Actually, I think it's on my page right now, but I'll also post it on WCRS page. People can contact and let the federal government know that this needs to be taken care of properly. That the hydroelectric dam people should not be able to just walk away and leave it in such disarray. If they return it to the way it was, at least, even though they would not be collecting it as a for a dam, it would certainly save people's property. And this is the question: people that have had beautiful lakefront or riverfront property has been actually destroyed, and that is a consequence of the actions of the hydroelectric dam. So we'll have to see where that goes, but this is not a surprise that this is where this group wanted to go. What was it called? Patriots Hydroelectric or whatever. So that's one story. That's a big story, actually. And hopefully enough pressure can be put on them that the FERC, the federal government that regulates this, will say, you got to do it before we'll decommission it. And we're going to be checking to make sure that you do it right, which is, of course, the other side of it. So that's one story in the news. Big story, actually. So also, while I'm talking about newsworthy items, tonight is a meeting of the Planning Commission at 5:30, and they will be talking about, just like big issues everywhere you turn, folks. They will be talking about taking up the text amendment, probably because it has changed, and I would think the moratorium, the things that are in this is part of the flow of the way documents have to come. So if you would like to be there at that meeting, I think that would be a very good thing to be at. So that's the Planning Commission. And I believe, where will they meet? I'm not sure, but we will find out here in just a minute. If I could talk this morning, that would be good. Greenwood County. All these things come at you from all these different directions, right? And so you're trying to catch everything as great as you can. But, let's see. Can we find it? Maybe. They should have put out something, I would think. All right. Well, right at this moment, I do not see where that has been put out there. But I've been told that is this evening, the Greenwood County Planning Commission. So this is an issue. I just want to make this issue clear that although there is an amendment to the text amendment and we also have a moratorium on the table, in order for the moratorium to take effect, it's got to go through third reading, which will be coming up on the 21st. This is not a done deal. I just want everybody to understand that. All that would have to happen is have one county council person flip and not, and I repeat, not vote for the moratorium, or a condition where maybe they decided to table the moratorium, where somebody makes a motion to table the moratorium and that gets approved. So it really, really, really is important that we keep the same pressure on that has been kept on to get to this point. Call your council people. Make sure they understand where you are on this issue. Also, congratulate those that had the courage to stand up and do what was right. And by what was right, voting to have for the moratorium, even voting in favor of the changes to the text amendment. If you're not up to speed on this, the text amendment, they changed it to not include I-1, I-2, and RDD. So that's a pretty major change to that text amendment. And of course, one would love to see on county council, I doubt if we will, but one would love to see more of county council vote for the moratorium. Only because we need more information before we go forth on any of this. And my contention all along has been, what's the rush? There will be more data centers coming to Greenwood if we so desire. But we need to keep the door closed until we have all the information and feel confident about putting one in a place where it is not going to affect the health and welfare of those in the community around it. Okay, so there you go. Planning Commission tonight at 5:30. And I believe it's at the library. But if anybody knows any different, 864-332-9355. I'm sure there's more we could talk about. But I really want to talk about, well, let's see. I'm going to start with this quote. And then maybe you'll understand where I am going here. So let me see if I can pull up this quote. I think there's a quote by Maya Angelou, the famous poet. I've learned that making a living is not the same thing as making a life. I've learned that making a living is not the same thing as making a life. And I'd like to tie that to Lindsey Graham and to young Washington. Both, and this is not a comparison story, it just kind of starts out that way. Both were not given the best of life situations to start out their life. Young Washington, they were farmers here in the United States. They had a little farm and working hard, and his dad died, and all of a sudden his life changed. He could no longer go to school. He needed to work to support the family and the farm. They needed his help, even though he was at that point, a young little guy and probably not capable of a lot. He snuck off to school, and they turned him away, I guess because he couldn't pay, and he had to come home to the farm and realize his life was not what he envisioned it. However, his uncle, I think it was, gave him some, young Washington was distraught about not being able to learn, and that's what he wanted to do. And his uncle gave him some books that were instrumental in his training to become a young man. And young George Washington, studied those, read those, was like Johnny Five. Need more info. And he studied how to become a gentleman. He studied battles. He studied everything that there was to study to make himself into the man that he wanted to be. He shouldn't have been able to have a commission in the Royal Navy and the British, but he got one. And even though he failed, he got up and rode the horse again and became successful. I mean, that's it in a very little nutshell. But at the end, near the end of the movie, he became invincible. I learned that making a living is not the same as making a life. He believed so passionately in our country and the rights of freedom for all, that he became invincible. In a battle that he should have been killed in, he continued and did not fail. He rescued his men and they moved to safer ground. He had a bullet through his tricorn hat. He had a bullet through his coat that he was wearing. I mean, it is an amazing story, and it's a true story. I mean, this is not fantasy. This is not the movies. This is a true story. In the end, he became a Patriots colonel, whatever, of the army, and he demanded that they change the color of their uniforms, which I thought was so great because it gave them such a sense of cohesiveness. So that's a little about George Washington. It's a great movie if you get the opportunity to take it. Great one to take really your kids to. Just shows the stick-to-itiveness that a human being can have. Now switching over to Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham, by all factors, probably should never have been able to become a senator in the United States of America. He and his family lived in the back of a pool hall, the business that they owned. He worked in the pool hall, helping his dad. His dad died. His mother died. He went into the military, adopted his 13-year-old sister so she could have medical benefits. He went into the military. He rose to highest, became a JAG officer there for a while. He went to that's right, you are listening to WCRS right here in Greenwood. Went to go to USC to get his law degree. I mean, he just continually was able to make his way in life. He worked for Strom Thurmond. And got a huge idea on how everything worked. He went on, he was in the House of Representatives, then he became a senator. I mean, my God, think about this. Just think about what went on in his life. A guy from a pool hall became a senator in the United States of America. If ever there is a all-American story, that is one. Now, whether you like Lindsey Graham or you didn't like Lindsey Graham, that's not the issue of this story. The issue is the belief in oneself and the ability that this country gives you to do that if you so desire. And I think from that standpoint, it is so terrific. I also was thinking, maybe that's why he always had a smile on his face. He always was cracking jokes, and he always was able to work across state lines. Yeah, right, Ann. Able to work across the aisle to bring people together. because he knew that this was the greatest country and that people needed to work together, because from where he came from, he did not have a life of privilege. He did not have a life that was easy on him. Anything that he got, he had to work for. So I just wanted to say this to all the I'll call them the haters out there. Give it up. It is an all-American story that each and every one of us would like to be able to aspire to the best that we can be in life. So, Maya Angelou, I've learned that making a living is not the same thing as making a life. Lindsey Graham made a life, even in his death. And he's only been dead since early Sunday morning. And today is Tuesday. They're already tearing apart how, and this has gone as a plus side, but a negative on some people. He only was worth, what, $1.4 million. I want to know how they even know that he was worth $1.4 million 3 days after he died. This to me is amazing. And then for his story to be able to continue, because, and I bring that up, maybe I should focus back, $1.4 million for anybody that is in Congress, the senators, or, as such, is not a lot of money compared to what some have been able to parlay their being a senator or a House of Representative person. So that's why I brought that up. But anyways, they're making a big deal, so he didn't have a modest estate. And then yesterday, Governor McMaster appointed his sister as to fill Lindsey Graham's seat, or to be in Lindsey Graham's seat. The first woman senator, I might add. Is pretty amazing story from two kids from Central South Carolina, who I guess we could say didn't have two nickels to rub together, if you want to use an old phrase. So let them have their due. Lindsey Graham did a lot of good. He may not have always been as conservative as people wanted him to be. But what he did do was bring people together, and he always had a smile, and the biggest thing people talk about is his sense of humor and everything. I'm sure he did have a great sense of humor, because every day he probably woke up and thanked God that there he was in Washington, D.C., sitting in a very powerful seat, and all he could think about, this is a kid from Central South Carolina who had nothing. Truly, the American dream. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it today. So there you go. Amazing stories right here on WCRS. We also have, as another story now, to change topics and get back to the real world. His sister Diane has been, will be the next senator from South Carolina. I think it is an excellent choice. I think one of the comments that was made about Lindsey Graham last night when I was watching something is that his staff was his family. He did not have a wife, others. He had his sister, and he had his staff. And so that they are grieving as if it was family. But the good thing with Diane going in there, they will be able to help her manage, because they're already a, quote, well-oiled machine at Lindsey Graham's office. I also thought it was very interesting that when they were talking about Lindsey Graham's office, they were talking about he was an old-time politician like Strom Thurmond. And he learned from Strom Thurmond how to give constituent service. Now, I have not had to use constituent service, but it is a very important aspect of what our House of Representatives and senators do. But I heard that Strom Thurmond used to make each of his staff read all the papers from all over South Carolina for a particular area, so they always knew who was in the news and congratulate them or console them, whatever the case may be. And Lindsey Graham carried that on. That is a testament, and of course it's much different today. When Strom Thurmond was doing it, you literally had to get the newspapers. There was no other source that could give you this information. Today, of course, we have the internet. And then I was thinking about the internet, how positive and how negative that is. Because we have the internet, we know that Lindsey Graham's estate is about $1.4 million. We don't even have any time lapse between the man dying, somebody else being put in that seat, and dissecting what was going on, how much money he had, and all this other stuff. Used to be you had a day or two to get over this and grieve through it. I commend that Diane Graham Snowden so much for being able to hold it together. When Governor McMaster nominated her for the office, and what did she say at the end? She made a few remarks. Don't worry, I've got this, to Lindsey Graham. What a proud moment that must be for Lindsey Graham. Anyways, that's kind of the direction I wanted to take today, because I think it is well worth spending a few minutes thinking about life, thinking about the direction we go, thinking why some people overcome immense obstacles in life, like Liz Pennick, who has 3 fingers on each hand, and is able to play boogie woogie music on the piano, on a keyboard piano, has played with some of the best, written music, and been a real success in life, was here at the Blues Festival last week. And so many of us can't really make it when we have all the advantages in this world. What is this? We all have better abilities than we put forth. All right. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it today. Other things I wanted to talk about. Planning Commission we've talked about. In closing today, do I have time? Yes, I have time. Every year, it is the Indiana State Fair comes around, and it's the beginning of fair food. That's right. Fair food. And so we must talk about fair food. Well, I could talk about one more issue before we get to fair foods. Today is the day, I am going to just mention this. Today is the day that the budget is supposed to be being put together finally, so that the state will have a budget. It all revolves around how much money is being spent. The House of Representatives had a very, I'll use the word hefty earmarks, and the Senate had didn't want to put, I believe, as much money towards property for seniors. So what are they going to do? It seems like there may be some coming together of how they do this. Maybe the Senate will give some and the House will give some. So that is where they're at on that. That is supposed to happen today. So we will see if that does. But the bottom line is this needs to get fixed, and they've got to both give something in order to make this happen. So we'll have to see if that actually happens, but they do go back today to see if they can fix that. Now, on to food at the Indiana Fair. So, this is the one? Nope, it's the wrong one. How about this one? Is it this one? It's this one. Oh, where'd it go? Indiana State Fair, yes. This is where you hear of some of the most outrageous things that are being fixed and cooked up, and some are hits and some are disasters. But R&W Concessions fresh made funnel cake with powdered sugar, drizzled with cookie butter, vanilla icing, and topped off with crumbled Biscoff cookies. Well, that's interesting. But how about corn dog beer? Sun King Brewery corn dog beer is brewed with corn and smoked malt to evolve the sweet and savory, a classic Indiana fare corn dog. Notes of toasted corn and subtle smoke give way to an easy drinking finish worthy of the midday. How about cornbread and Q? Indiana pork producers have made our cornbread and Q stacks, our most popular pulled pork on warm cornbread, finished with a drizzle of hot honey for the perfect sweet meets savory bite. Fair Living Concessions, a vibrant blend of crisp green leaf lettuce, shredded broccoli, red and savory cabbage, carrots, and green onions, tossed with sweet corn, savory Parmesan cheese, and crunchy tortilla strips, all drizzled with a rich, creamy elote. I mean, these things are just so complicated. Now, they don't talk about the prices here, but here's another one. The craft beer soft serve. This is at Uric Concessions. Indiana craft beer meets soft serve in this unexpected collaboration from Uric Concessions and Black Dog Brewing Company. Black Dog's Rainbow Road Fruited Sour Beer is transformed into a creamy soft serve. Yuck! Served in a cake cone, delivering a bright, fruity flavor with a tart finish. It's cold, refreshing, slightly sweet, and unlike anything else at the fair. Who would mix beer and ice cream? That's what I want to know. All right? But that is what they are doing at the Indiana Fair. One more. I mean, well, this goes on forever, but one more. I kind of think, no thanks. Can I get back to it? God, I hate when this is so many pop-ups. Well, I don't know whether I can get it to move back. All right, here we go. Well, R&W Concessions, fresh cooked French fries loaded with cheddar cheese, bacon bits, and then drizzled with sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. So you have barbecue sauce, cheddar cheese, bacon bits. There you go. What was the other one? I had one more. Okay, we did that one. Oh, yeah, this is my last one right here. This is a deep-fried Linder Dubois chocolate truffle. We take 3 Linder Dubois chocolate truffles filled with pistachio cream, put them on a skewer, then it is dipped into sweet funnel cake batter and fried to golden perfection. It can be topped with pistachio cream or any of our premium Ghirardelli sauces. Penny's going, I'll take one of those. Can you imagine? These are the type of things you will find if you go to the Indiana State Fair, which is really, I think it's the first fair up, and it's always known for having unbelievable things for the fair food. And then you see those at the state fairs, and they trickle down. But this is the fair where everything comes together. Pickle pesto pizza. It's our homemade dough that we make from scratch. Then we add pesto to the to the crust next week. Add mozzarella cheese, pickles, and dill seasoning. Cook it to perfection. You can add the pesto drizzle to the top or have it with our award-winning pickle ranch. Talk about pickles. Pickles are hot. All right, that's all I'm going to do on that. I probably could give you a few more, but as you get my drift, there are lots of possibilities. Now, in comparison, there was quite a discussion about the food at the All-American Fair, which is now over. But they were complaining about the prices. And what some of the items were. Overall, I'm sure everybody ate and did fine, but they were not as kind, shall we say, to the All-American Fair up there. I would really like to talk to somebody that went to the Great American Fair on the grounds up there. If you went, drop me a line and let me know. I'd love to get your impressions and everything. But what I really would like to do is yesterday they talked about the Indy 500 or Indy race that they're going to have in Washington, D.C. They're going to let Indy cars run through downtown Washington, D.C. That's supposed to be on August 22nd, I believe. What an opportunity to see something so cool. And this, I think, is great. Regardless of what you feel about everything else, I think it's just great that 250 years and we're celebrating the innovations, the changes, all the things that have happened with Indy racing or car racing in general. And as they try to preserve the Greenville Pickens racetrack, the first dirt track in America, I think it was, to see that in Washington, D.C. on August 22nd, they're going to have high formula cars racing through downtown Washington, D.C. I think is pretty cool and should be a great draw. Hottest time of the year to be in Washington, D.C., but still will be very, very cool. So I wanted to mention that. They had some announcements about that yesterday and introducing some of the people that will be driving and also some of the people that have been instrumental in changing up the cars over the years. So that's a little bit on that. Other things coming up today. What do we have coming up? Today in Uptown Greenwood, well, this is actually tomorrow, they are going to having a Bee City Greenwood Committee Garden Work Day. Please join us for this to work at the Veterans Plaza Pollinator Garden near the gazebo. Date Wednesday, July 15th. Time 8:30 to 10:30 at the Veterans Plaza. Whether you can stay for the full 2 hours or just stop by for a little, we'd love to have your help. We'll be weeding, tidying, and giving our pollinator garden a little extra TLC as it continues to provide a space for our pollinators. Bring your gardening gloves, water, and your favorite hand tools if you have them. We'll supply the smiles and good company. Every weed pulled and every flower cared for helps make Greenwood a more beautiful and pollinator-friendly community. So they would love your help. If you can stop by between 8:30 to 10:30 on Wednesday. By the way, today they are having a lunch and learn program at the Clemson Extension office from 12 to 1. They'll be talking about how to make a moon garden. I'm thinking about going. How to make a moon garden. All I can ever think about when they talk about a moon garden is Morticia from the Addams Family going out and saying she was going to do some moon bathing at midnight with the moon, and she'd go out with her reflector. Does anybody remember that from the Addams Family? She'd go out there with her reflector and hold it up to her face, and the moon would be shining down, and she'd be out there having a moon bath. I always thought that was pretty darn cool. Pretty darn cool. So, yes, I want to go learn more about a moon garden. Did you know? This is something I didn't know. Did you know that there are pollinators that are specifically out at night? So we need to have not only pollinators for daytime, but we need to have pollinators for nighttime. So if you'd like to go to that, it's from 12 to 1 today, 12 to 1 today. And I would highly recommend that you check this out. So, number one, don't forget, today is Chick-fil-A Cow Appreciation Day. Did you know, I didn't know this as I was doing a little research on this, that they have not had Cow Appreciation Day, I believe, since 2019. I believe COVID got in the way. And so they have not had it. So this is the first year that they are now having Cow Appreciation Day. So go out and be a cow. Be a cow. And make sure that you are finding out anything that you can, wear anything that you can to be a cow. There you go. All right. Anything else real quick that I want to mention? I did want to mention this. I don't know how many of you go to the Greenwood County Farmers Market. I don't know how many of you over the years used to go out to the Greenwood County Farmers Market and always see Miss Maddie and her cakes. Well, I did. And Miss Maddie was quite a trooper. And she was a trooper and she was a character. She would love to make her fried pies and her cakes. Well, Miss Maddie will surely be missed by all at the market. So Miss Maddie has passed on. But I'm sure she'll be making more cakes up there in heaven because she sure made good ones. So, Miss Maddie, I just wanted to say I remember and I salute you. Thank you for the cakes. Jeff always really appreciated them. That's right. All right. Now, other events going on. Keep Greenwood County beautiful. Learn more about us by joining our next board meeting, which is today, Tuesday, July 14th at 4 p.m. at the Greenwood Chamber of Commerce. It's a board meeting, but they'd love for you to come. There is no problem. They need more people to get involved. It's a big county, and we need more help. So keep Greenwood County beautiful. Come out today to the board meeting. It says, we hope you'll be proactive with your passion and join us at our next board meeting so you can learn about what you can do to help Greenwood County beautiful. We're always looking for more board members and volunteers. It is a nonprofit, but they like to encourage people not to litter and come up with some great programs. So if you're interested, go out there today at 4 o'clock at the Greenwood County Greenwood Chamber of Commerce right there in Uptown Greenwood. This is another thing I saw that I thought was so neat. I try to feature maybe some of the things that don't get all the PR, but this is at please join us for a special artist reception celebrating the talented students whose artwork will be on display in the Self Regional Healthcare Pediatric Unit. Enjoy an evening of recognition, refreshments, and the opportunity to view the selected artwork. That will be Tuesday, July 28th from 5 to 6. Self Regional Healthcare Atrium, a beautiful place, 1325 Spring Street. Please RSVP to Lisa Smith at, I'll just give you the telephone number, 864-725-6209. That's 864-725-6209. 6209. That's Tuesday, July 28th. What a great, that sounds like a lot of fun. So here we are. This is another thing that is coming up. Free food distribution for Greenwood County. It says I think they have change of location on Friday, July 17th. The next free food distribution is Friday at Little River Multicultural Complex in Hodges. If you have an old brochure, you need to update it because it will be this Friday, 9 a.m. at the Little River Multicultural Complex in Hodges. Fresh produce and shelf-stable items will be available while supplies last. Please make sure that if you know somebody in need, all they have to do is drive there. They will load it in your car. You don't even have to get out of the car. Nothing to show. So that is another one. Also, they're giving away at Chick-fil-A. Of course, they're giving away free food today if you dress like a cow. But they have their summer giveaway series, week 3 of 5. They'll be giving away a cow print tote bag that's ready for all your summer adventures. To answer this question, what's one thing you'll never leave home without on a summer day? We'll randomly select one winner from the comments and announce them on Friday. So go over there to Chick-fil-A, they've got a tote bag, and make your entry. You can end up with a very cool cow tote bag. So there you go. All right. Anything else here? Penny has said this show is totally boring. Well, I'm sorry, Penny. Also, Friday night they are having out there at the Flying Monkeys baseball game will be DJ Keller Memorial Night. They'll be having that, so we'll have more details on that, but you might want to do that on Friday. Hey, you know what? That's going to do it for me. No show this afternoon, but tomorrow afternoon we will be speaking with the set designer at the Greenwood Museum, Danny, about his magnificent life that he has had, how he got there, how it started, and then how he ended up in Greenwood, South Carolina, working for the Greenwood Mall. So, Greenwood Museum. So keep all us on WCRS. If you got a hot tip, something you know going on, make sure you let me know. You know I like being in the know right here on WCRS Radio. 864-332-9355. 864-332-9355. Let me know what you're thinking, 864-332-9355. Hey, that's going to do it for me. Thanks for participating. Thanks for listening. I hope you have a great day. And do remember, thanks for the memories. Now, do remember, I've learned that making a living, surviving, is not the same thing as making a life. We should all strive to make a life. But sometimes you just have to make a living in order to be able to make a life. And that is understood. I'm Ann Eller from The Quiet One today, snoozing over there in her seat saying, when do we have breakfast? I'm tired of this show. Okay, guess what, Penny? We are going to drop the curtain. I am going to play the music, and guess what? It's time for breakfast. This is WCRS Radio. Take it away.